Good afternoon and welcome to today's Hofstra women's basketball postgame press conference with head coach Danielle Santos Atkinson. Coach, give us your thoughts following the game over Lehigh.
Yeah, tough one. Lehigh, I mean, credit to them. They shot the lights out the ball. They shoot it really well. It's something we knew coming into this game that they do really well, something that we were going to have to stop. Transition defense-wise, early in the game, we let them get loose. When a team is able to get off 35 threes, a team that shoots the three and shoots it as well as they do, you're going to give them lots of opportunities for those makes. And so that's something we got to get back. We got to go back. We got to look at. But them having a chance to get off 35 threes and then making 13 is hard to overcome. I thought we did well on the boards. We had 40 plus rebounds, which is what we're always going for. Took care of the ball. I liked our pressure there at the end and continuing to fight and continue to battle back. But we've got to be able to get that done for 40 minutes.
Questions?
When you talk about the end of the game, obviously the game was out of reach, but you have to consider the fact that the likes of Tiana Baker and Michaela Carter had some really strong plays at the end of the game. So, what is the mantra really to finish strong, and what did you see from those two at the end of the game?
Yeah, I thought they continued to fight. Again, those are two dynamic players. They're really good after it defensively. They have the athleticism to be able to get downhill, to be able to attack. And we needed that there. We needed there in that time. And so I like that they continue to fight. They continue to get after it. They never gave up on the floor, and that's what we want to make sure we do.
Notice some adjustments in the second quarter to their three-point shooting. What were some adjustments you guys made with that?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about where those threes were coming from and how we needed to get there. I thought from first quarter, second quarter, our transition defense was better. I think that's where they were getting the threes from initially. In the second half, they were able to get some threes off of our rotations, and honestly, they just shot it over us a few times. We were there, but we weren't as close as we needed to be in our defensive pressure, and they were able to shoot it just over us at that point. But in the second quarter, I thought we were better in our transition defense from that first quarter.
Coach, the shooting percentage for the game for the Pride was markedly lower than the season's shooting percentage. Would you attribute that more to an off night or forcing shots and bad shot selection?
I think it's a combination. I think early we missed some shots, and we got down on ourselves, and we allowed some defensive scores on their end, and the combination of that I think just got us a little deflated in our shots. They did a great job. They did a great job of pressuring us, doubling inside. We still had 26 points in the paint, but we want to be able to have more points in the paint than that. We've got to be able to focus and finish when we get in the paint. We had 64 shot attempts, and lots of those being layups. We've got to be able to convert on a lot of those layups and being able to finish so that we can walk away with a higher shooting percentage, but also more points on the board.
Notice that Sorrell was not in the game for much of the second half. Anything about that?
Yeah, no, nothing with that. I mean, Sorrell's a great player. We're going to need her every single night. She's such a large part of what we're doing and what we're going to do this year. We needed a little bit of something different defensively, and we went with a different defensive matchup for a lot of that second half. But Sorrell is very much so capable, and again, a large part of what it is that we're going to do. And I got no doubt she'll get herself back and ready to go this next game.
I think on an individual note, Brooke eclipsed 50 rebounds on the season. Obviously, Zai is one of the top rebounders in the conference, and she is probably the big focus for the Pride in the paint. What have you seen from Brooke this season, and how has she been able to reach that milestone this early?
Yeah, she just stays aggressive. She continues to go, and that's what we've got to continue to have her do. She can average double-digit rebounds every single game, no question. She's aggressive to the board. She's long. She's athletic. And she has the ability to go get it. But when you're that physical and you have the mindset to be able to crash and go get it every time, that's helpful. She does a great job of getting in there and finding her way to that offensive rebound, and that's come up with some big crucial possessions for us.
Coach, defensively, this was actually the third least points Lehigh scored in the season, 68. Do you think that there are any positives to take defensively, and do you think that the experience from this game could help your team if they go against another fast, really solid shooting team late in the season.
Oh, absolutely. I think we're a solid defensive team. I do. I think we give up, that we have some lapses defensively and we give up some easy buckets at times. But overall, we've been able to hold teams to a lower shooting percentage. We've been able to hold them to below their overall points scoring. And so tonight I thought we could have done a better job. Again, if we shore up that 3-point line, then we're really holding them. But they do average 70-something points a game. And for us to be able to hold them below that, that is a positive. But again, I think the 3-point line is where we lost our way.
Coach, uncharacteristic night, shooting for the Pride, 5 of 21. Just what was it? Just what was Lehigh doing that kind of forced Hofstra into those 4 shots?
Yeah, again, I think we got deflated early when we missed some. They were physical at the rim. They're physical at the rim with us, but we've got to be able to have the composure and the poise to be able to finish. They're one of the top shot blocking teams in the country. I don't know if that was something that we had in our head as we got to the rim, but I think, again, very uncharacteristic. We've got the ability to shoot the ball much better than that. I do think we were pressing there late once the lead started to stretch to be able to get some shots off and to be able to get some quick buckets. And so I think that we don't normally shoot 21 threes, but again, I think we were pressing a bit to try and close that gap as it started to stretch.
Coach, a lot of turnovers for the Pride today. Some would call them self-inflicted. Do you think that Lehigh's defense was doing something that might have confused your players, or do you think it was a more mental block?
Yeah, not to take anything away from them. For us, we're looking to have 15 turnovers or less. Historically, we've had average 20 plus turnovers. So for us, when we're at 15 or below, we think that's a good night. But we did have a lot of unforced turnovers. So I think we could have well been around 12 to 10 turnovers because there was not a lot of pressure, even in their press. It was more of a containment and a stall and a delay as opposed to trapping and pressing, pushing up. And so I do think we had some unforced turnovers in there. But again, when we are below 15, that's where we want to be.
Coach, the team plays Iona later this week. What's going to be key to capitalizing for a win at home?
Yeah, we've got to definitely adjust. We've got to be able to defend the 3-point line. We've got to be able to get back in transition defense and match and find early and make sure we're there and ready to contain. Offensively, we've got to pick up our execution. We've got to be able to finish in the paint and be able to come up with more either more free throws or more points once we have that opportunity at the rim.
This concludes today's post-game press conference. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.